There's a new agenda going around town for one Scopper Gaban because people are glazing them in high heavens. I've been getting a lot of comments in my streams about Scopper Gaban, whether it's One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, Marvel Rivals, Sekiro, news and reactions. People are talking about Scopper Gaban constantly. One cast 7 shoot today. Hey, yo, I can't wait for the top 30 this year. I can't wait. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Scopper. Listen, I love Scopper. Make no mistake, okay? This is not a video to try and rag or diminish what Scopper has done. Scopper is outstanding. Phenomenal, okay? The same way I see Scopper moving is how I see Rayleigh moving in this situation. The exact same. Scopper looking phenomenal. And I know Rayleigh will too. And Scopper, this whole arc has been studly. And definitely someone warranted of the glaze that Emu himself, the king of the world, Emu himself, gave Scopper the glaze and said, yes, as expected of one of the members of the Pirate King's crew. However, context matters. And context for what, King? What's going on? What's the agenda exactly? Here it is. Scopper is beating Kaido in V1.
What?
Big Mom, Blackbeard, Scopper Gaban is just catapulting. The idea that he is genuinely stronger than Loki and Luffy is now a repeated thing that I'm seeing constantly. And to be frank, not only did Emu glaze up Gaban, but in terms of the performance, you could argue that he did a better job than, of course, Luffy, but even a better job than Loki. Gaban cutting down a section of the Jewel Tree Atom, forced Emu to guard not once but twice. Emu coughing up blood, as expected. Ooh. Damn. So the agenda for Scopper in some ways is warranted, absolutely. And I myself am questioning, okay, hold on, time out. Do I have to raise the level of Scopper and Rayleigh, by proxy, of course, to a higher standard? Which I think, given this top 30 this year, I think I will. I think I will raise the level for both Scopper and Rayleigh when we get to top 30 later on this year. However, there are limits to this game. If you think that Scopper is going to be stronger than Loki or Luffy, I think you're kind of tripping. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you think that he's stronger than Big Mom or Kaido, I think you're absolutely on crack. You are snorted way too much, bro. You're doing a whole line, dude. A line as long as a freaking ruler. 12 inches of nothing but crack, baby. The whole mustache and beard looking white. Gaban is good. Very good. But Emperor good? Even in his prime? C'est la vie. This is where context matters, okay? There's this chapter context, there's outside the chapter context, and then there's other things we can gauge too about how strong Scopper really is. So real quick, I do want to give some love to the members. Oh, to the YouTube members, because you guys and gals do gain access to the videos first and foremost, okay? So I appreciate you guys being members on the channel, supporting your boy through thick and thin. I am still trying to be more consistent with the channel content. I really, really am. It is a hard road, but it's a road I am 1000% walking down without a damn doubt. So I appreciate the members for sure. Bless your hearts. Definitely do. Now, that being said, what are the things we can use to gauge Scopper Gaban's power in earnest? Well, first of all, let's get the context in the chapter itself, because that matters quite a bit, okay? Within the chapter itself, again, I'm not trying to disparage Gaban's power, but is Emu in the same condition that he was when he fought against Luffy or Loki? I think the answer is very clear. No. His condition seems to be worsening, which means what? His timer, his stamina, his endurance is getting worse. Not his attacks, you'd argue, fair enough, but his stamina and his endurance are lowering. When he pulls out the Honibami Toshido sword, and he has those ghouls attack Scopper. Keep in mind that he starts coughing up blood immediately. Now, to be fair, Scopper is also not very far from peak condition, but in One Piece, unlike other series, One Piece characters can utilize their max power abilities and attacks even though their stamina and their endurance is waning. That is the case for the most part. So Scopper is for sure definitely in a bad condition, but he can still utilize his max power stuff. Now for Imu, same thing here, but going to fight against Loki and Luffy, he was in better condition. Furthermore, Imu's mentality fighting against Gaban is nowhere near the same level as Luffy's or Loki's. Luffy predominantly, where Scopper is more curious, like, hold on, are you memeing right now? Like, is this the game to you? Like, what's going on? A, B, wait, who are you? Like, what do you know about me? Oh, you're part of Rogers. Oh, okay. So it's like with Imu, he's more curious. He's listening to what he has to say, knowing that he knows with the laugh tale about the true nature of the world, about Joy Boy, all these kind of things. So he's not as hostile. Let's go to max hostility against Luffy, where Luffy got max hostility. Luffy had the true ire of Imu when Imu came in there with the intent to kill in earnest. So much so that later on in the chapter, he actually deviates completely from Scopper and he applies Stigma, the homie, to Luffy. So keep in mind that before the Gate of God even fires off, Imu isn't aiming any attack at Gaban. He's aiming at Luffy. So Imu is focused on Luffy when this man Gaban fires off one hell of a move. The move is outstanding, but Imu's attention is focused on Luffy. You can clearly see that. That's number 3 for this whole situation. And then number 4 is that when Imu does get a good shot on Gaban, his arm gets lobbed off. Luffy took 2 stab wounds with life force stealing swords, Vohu and Fragrach. And he's still in gear 5. He's still in gear 5. Whereas with Gaban, 1 attack, arm is lobbed off. I love Gaban. I'm all about the Gaban sauce. But do not tell me that he had the same focus mentality Imu did on Gaban when you compare that to Luffy, where he was dialed in. On a scale of 10, he's 11. He's dialed in against Luffy. It's not the same energy here, not even close. It's the lowest energy compared to Loki and then Luffy. If let's say Loki's a 7 or 8 and Luffy's an 11, Gaban's like a 4 or 5 in terms of focus and intensity. Matter of fact, you argue lower that too, because again, the Stigma blade is pointed at Luffy before the Gate of God slams down. So that does matter, I would say, in respects to Luffy and Loki compared to Gaban as fighters. Even though, again, he does glaze Gaban. That does matter quite a bit. So that's why, to me, most important thing right now in terms of gauging the power of Gaban and Rayleigh is the Imu glaze. The Imu glaze, like, dude, okay, hold on. Like, that's real. That's heavy. That move he did on him, Gate of God, heavy. Had boy guarding 2 times over, heavy. But again, he was aiming at Luffy the entire time. Now, the second biggest thing to gauge Scopper's power, and you can argue in a general sense too, not just let's say Scopper now and Rayleigh now, but also at their peaks, is how they treat certain characters. For example, I view Gaban and Rayleigh to be equals in terms of power, in the same way I would view Zoro and Sanji. What Gaban could do now against Imu, Rayleigh could do the exact same thing, but also be treated the exact same way. So he has his arms cut off, he's on the ground, look like Naruto and Sasuke, same energy, right? Same energy. I feel like what Rayleigh said about Blackbeard is important. During Amazon Lily, when he raided Amazon Lily on a flank, in came Rayleigh. BB got spooked. Oh my God. And then he darted away. He just scurried on his way. Afterwards, Rayleigh admitted that he couldn't beat Blackbeard. And since Gaban and Rayleigh are paralleled, I think that Gaban, like what Rayleigh said, can't also beat Blackbeard. He can't do it, let alone what some of y'all are saying about Big Mom and Kaido. In fact, with Gaban specifically, he does the exact same thing that we've heard from Green Bull in chapter 1139, when he says, and I quote, "I've heard the stories about you, Straw Hat Luffy, including that you took care of Kaido. Boy, I love to go traveling around Wano again. When Green Bull pulled up, why did he pull up? Because Kaido was gone. Kaido, who was an ultimate deterrent for many folks to come his way. Keep in mind that Gaban, like let's say Wiper, for example, he saw Oden as a brother, the Chad of Wano. But even when Oden died, and when he did die, and everyone found out across the world about that, they made no moves on Kaido. Zero. Not even an attempt. Only Ace on a reckless charge did that, but that was it. Only Ace. Whitebeard said, nah, I'm good. Admirals and Marines said, nah, we good. World government said, nah, we good. Gaban, other cats, nah, we good. And you may argue, oh, well, but that's like, you know, Gaban, he's talking about like, you know, recently, or like, let's say nowadays. No. It's the whole kin caboodle with Kaido. It's not as of late. It's for as long as Kaido was there, he was an ultimate deterrent from people going crazy in Wano country or invading him, even though people like Oden, who were brothers, sworn brothers to the Roger and Whitebeard pirates, he got boiled alive. But they made no moves at all. Prime Scopper Gaban didn't want the Kaido smoke. Whitebeard didn't want the smoke. Kaido? Whoa. Easy. Too many lives lost. Because it's Kaido. It's Kaido. Makes sense to me. I've said for a long time now, and I maintain frame, that even at this point in time, Luffy is not on Kaido's level, or even on Big Mom's level. You may say that's crazy, but think about it, right? Just think about it, okay? What has Luffy done in the final saga in Gear 5 form that has matched what he was doing against Kaido in Wild Country? I'll wait, because so far I've not seen nothing. Whether it be the Dawn Symbol, whether it be the Majin Genie, whether it be the White Star gun, nothing. What he was doing on that rooftop was bananas. Don't even get me started in the anime version. In the anime version, it's disgusting. Grabbing a massive cloud, turning it to rubber, the lightning spaghetti strings. I mean, no. Nothing he has done so far in the entirety of the final saga has been on the level of what we've seen in Wano Country, even though Luffy is stronger now. That's correct. Luffy is still stronger now, for sure, than he was via his Wano Country counterpart. That's undeniable. But he's not showcasing stronger stuff. On paper, he's stronger. Yes, without question. But we are not seeing him perform better feats compared to his Wano counterpart. It is what it is. The world government's fear about Kaido being angry. Green Bull statements about Kaido after the fact. Wiper not going there. Even Gaban's own statements, I think, prove in of itself that for like a decade plus, not even more, people didn't want to fight Kaido. No one wanted the Kaido smoke, including Prime Gaban. The Gaban that we see, let's say, in the Elbaf flashback, going for against Herald? You think that guy's beating Kaido? Hell no. No. Or let's see if he was stronger, let's say in Roger Pirates. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Gaban's feats are impressive, absolutely. But context does matter. It's also undeniable too. And Imo is not treating Gaban with the same intensity and focus as he will with Loki and then with Luffy. That's very, very apparent. That does matter. But again, shouts to Gaban. I will probably raise him and Rayleigh later on in the top 3 later this year, for sure. But not over Kaido and Big Mom. Nah, it's not happening. Their feats on paper, even to this day, blow Gaban's out of the water. And in terms of portrayal, even Gaban himself puts himself at a lower position than Kaido. Rayleigh does that to Blackbeard. And also that Blackbeard is weaker than Kaido right now. In the future, he's strong for sure, but not now. No, not now. And Loki and Luffy, I would say to this day, are still weaker than Kaido. I understand though, the hype, the recency bias, I get it. Oh yeah, I get it, for sure. It's crazy. And Gaban, and again, via proxy Rayleigh, they deserve the glaze. Oh, Gaban, covered in honey. But Kaido and Big Mom, by comparison, are swimming in marmalade. Swimming in it, man. Like, Gaban deserves his glaze. But they ain't doing Kaido Big Mom stunts yet. Nah. But that's my take on this Gaban agenda. I mess with it to an extent, But if you look at the context of it all and the consistency and the portrayal, I still got Gaban under Luffy and Loki, let alone Kaido and Big Mom. But if you want to argue that they're stronger, let's say Gaban and Rayleigh, than admirals like Fuji and Green Bull, we can talk about that when the time comes. Let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. Of course, YouTube members do gain access to the video first. And if you enjoyed this video content as a whole, thumbs up to the video, of course. Click on that bell to join the notification squad and sub to your boy's channel. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you. Bye-bye.